My name is Jared. I am 33, oldest child of a dad who remarried when I was 12, stepbrother to a golden stepsister named Chloe, who has never stood in a grocery line without someone telling her she is such a vibe. I teach yoga mornings at the studio, private clients in the afternoons, online classes at night when my voice is still warm. I live in a small townhouse with my wife Maya and our two kids, Ben, 6, who sleeps with a dinosaur flashlight, and Ava, 3, who calls strawberries red moons. We hang our towels on hooks that always fall. We keep a shoe basket by the door that never has the shoe you need. I do not have a loud life. I have a life of lists. Invoices in a folder, mats rolled tight like cinnamon buns, playlists named Sunrise Slow and Storm Calm. Students call me grounding. Family calls me when something is on fire. I fix schedules. I show up early. I bring food. Chloe is 27, permanently backlit. She posts brand deals with oat milk and beige sweaters. She says things like soft launch and quiet luxury and looks bored while saying them. Our stepmom Kira calls her our star. My dad nods like a background musician. Growing up, the script was clear. I am the steady one. Chloe is the main character. At holidays, she changed outfits like the sun changes angles. I carved turkey and refilled water. She curated tablescapes. We all clapped. I made peace with being the handler, the guy who carries the extra charger and the granola bars. It is not a bad role. The people you love get fed. You get to be useful. You also get used. The day this story really starts is a Tuesday in May. Morning light on my mat. Class was good. Half full. Strong breath. No one cried during pigeon. I am wiping down blocks when my phone buzzes. Kira, stepmom. I almost let it ring out. I answer because I always do. Jared, she says like a small emergency already happened. Where are you? At the studio, I say. Everything okay? Everything is beautiful, she says, which means everything is about Chloe. We need to talk about the wedding. It is coming together fast. The venue needs a decision by Friday. They mentioned a deposit. I lean on the cubbies where students keep their socks. Okay, I say slowly. We will go over the details at dinner, she says, not asking, but placing an event on my calendar like a fridge magnet. You know Chloe's vision. Classic, clean, elevated. She waits. I say nothing. You always step up, she adds. Her voice gets soft like she is putting a blanket around a demand. We are counting on you. There it is. The first flicker. Not the money itself, not yet. Just the sentence that opened every door for years. You always step up. I look out the studio window. A kid on a scooter wipes out, pops back up, rides again. I picture Ben and Ava in their car seats, the crumb graveyard, the sticky hands. I picture my savings spreadsheet with its careful columns, rent, groceries, preschool, taxes, the oh no fund we finally started. Dinner is at 6 o'clock, Kira says. Bring the kids. Chloe wants to squeeze their cheeks. Sure, I say. Bring Maya too, she adds, like my wife is optional. When the call ends, I stand in the quiet studio and feel something I do not often feel, heat behind my eyes. Nothing has happened yet, not really. A question arrived wrapped as a foregone conclusion, but I can smell the pattern lighting up like incense after it catches. Slow, then smoke everywhere. I stack the blocks. I refill the sanitizer. I lock the door. On the walk home, a sentence keeps playing in my head. You always step up, and in the next breath, at what cost? Dinner at Dad and Kira's is always a small performance. Kira's table is all neutrals and gold forks. There are linen napkins even when she reheats lasagna. Dad pours wine like it is his new personality. Chloe arrives 30 minutes late in something white and slippery. Her fiancé Parker behind her. Parker looks like a golf course. He shakes hands like he bought the trademark Jer Bear. Chloe sings. She uses the nickname she used when I was the kid who chased the ice cream truck for her while she timed me. My favorite brother. I am your only brother, I say. She kisses the air near my cheek. Still my favorite. Maya squeezes my hand under the table. The kids color quietly on a printout Kira found on Pinterest and calls a kid station, which is a tray with 2 crayons and a gold-rimmed cup. After salad, Kira brings out a binder. It should be funny. It is not. She places it in front of me with 2 fingers like a contract. We are keeping it minimal, Chloe says, opening to a page with a chandelier that looks like an octopus made of diamonds. Just tasteful moments. Parker points at a photo of a barn that costs more than cars. We are doing it here. Rustic, but modern. Okay, I say. I have learned this syllable can mean many things. Kira flips to the spreadsheet. It is printed on glossy paper. Who prints spreadsheets on glossy paper? This is just the initial ask, she says. Non-negotiables. I read venue deposit due Friday, $12,800. Catering installment, $8,750. Florals retainer, $2,200. Live string duo for cocktail hour, $1,600. DJ, $1,500. Content creator team, $2,500. Bride emergency fund, $1,000. Total, $30,350. I look up slowly. Maya looks at me. She does not speak. Her eyes ask, "Are we about to be set on fire?" politely. Kira smiles with her teeth. "We thought you could handle the deposit," she says, like suggesting I pick up milk and we will sort the rest together as a family. Dad lifts his glass. "Family?" he echoes. He is good at toasting things he did not cook. "How much are you and Dad contributing?" I ask her. His smile twitches. She glances at Dad. "We have always taken care of you," she says. My brain pulls up images like a slideshow. Me at 19 mopping a cafe after a closing shift because I wanted my own phone plan. Me at 23 lending Dad money for a car battery. Chloe at 25 getting a surprise brand internship in New York. That was actually Kira's friend's guest room. "Parker's parents," Maya asks gently because she is kind even when she does not want to be. "Is there a split?" "They are hosting the rehearsal dinner," Chloe says. "Sushi case. It is like a vibe." Ben looks up. "What is a vibe?" "Broccoli," I say. "Eat it." Chloe keeps going. "The vendor discount ends Friday," she says. "We have to lock in. It is stressful. You would not get it. Yoga is like feelings." "Yoga is a job," I say. "Feelings pay me." Kira laughs too loud. "Jared, you are such a comedian," she says, which means, stop being difficult. She taps the glossy spreadsheet. "It is one number. We will make it easy on everyone." "Easy on everyone," Maya repeats under her breath. Her jaw ticks. She looks down at Ava, who is carefully lining up peas like they're students. We eat. Chloe tells a story about a brand that sent her a lamp worth a car payment. Dad says, "Incredible," like she discovered electricity. Parker explains NFTs to no one. I cut Ben's chicken. After dinner, Kira corners me at the kitchen island. "You always step up," she says again, soft as a nap. "It is time to be the big brother." "Big brothers do not fund weddings," I say. "Big brothers make dreams possible," she says. I drive home in quiet. The kids fall asleep in tragic neck positions. Maya stares out the window like she is trying not to bite something. At our table after bedtime, we do numbers. We have savings, not huge, enough to breathe. If the car dies or a client cancels 6 sessions in a row, we could cover a chunk. We cannot be the bank. I write no more than $20,000 total on the back of an envelope because writing limits makes them feel more real. Maya strokes the spot between her eyebrows where a headache lives. "We cannot be the only adults in their story," she says. "I know," I say, "but it is Dad. It is Kira," she says. "And Chloe and you, Jared, you standing where they ask you to stand." I text Kira, "We can help with the venue deposit. We cannot cover everything." She replies too fast. "Knew you would come through, send by Friday." Then Chloe is crying happy tears. "Then, you are the best." "No thank you, just a roll pin to my shirt." I sleep badly. I wake at 4 o'clock in the morning and stare at the ceiling and think of my students, the way I always tell them to notice where they grip, jaw, shoulders, hands. I unclench. I do not fall back asleep. Friday, I do not send anything. I tell Kira, "We will talk more." She sends 3 cake emojis and a champagne bottle like negotiation is a party. I go to class and say, "Root down and mean, do not get yanked around." I drive home listening to a voicemail from Dad about tradition and stepping up and doing the right thing. I breathe. I do not answer. Then the slow squeeze begins. A week later, retainer due. "We will reimburse as soon as possible." 2 days after that, DJ special ends today. "Can you front?" Then content team gave us a deal if we book now, game changer. Each message is small. None of them say please. They stack like blocks until they are a wall. I hold the line once, twice. Then I hear Kira cry in a voicemail. I cave. I tell myself it is a loan. I tell myself grown-ups keep receipts. I start a note in my phone, Chloe wedding track. I type numbers. I feel my stomach drop after each one. I tell myself it is family. I tell myself it is temporary. Meanwhile, the little cuts come. Tasting is adults only. Insurance. No kids at the bridal suite. Delicate fabrics. Please do not bring plastic toys. They ruin the vibe. The vibe gets bigger than the people. My name becomes a square on a spreadsheet. A week before the wedding, Kira texts, "Final head count. No kids, right?" Bride's vision is upscale. I stare at the screen. I type, "We are a family of 4." She types back, "We will figure it out." She does not say how. "We will figure it out" has always meant, "You will bend." I pick up the kids from preschool. Ava shows me a sticker of a frog and calls it a green moon. Ben asks if he can wear his dinosaur tie to the wedding. I say yes. I swallow something that tastes like a penny. The day before, I drive Parker across town to pick up cufflinks because his Tesla needs a charge. He plays a podcast about optimization and calls me champ. Back at my place, Maya looks at me like I am telling a joke badly and it is still going. "You do not have to be their hero," she says. "I know," I say. "I do not change anything." The morning of the wedding arrives. I dress in my only good suit. Maya wears a navy dress that makes her look like the person you call when the plane's engine stops. Ben's dinosaur tie is crooked. Ava's hair clip is a star. I pack snacks, crayons, a spare pair of tights, 2 tiny toy cars, Band-Aids, wipes, a charger, a plan. We drive to the venue in a long line of cars. The barn is beautiful. The sky is unsure. I roll my shoulders and tell myself to be air, to flow around nonsense, to get through. I did not plan for what was waiting at the top of the steps. At the entrance stands a man in a black suit, a security person dressed like a guest. He holds a clipboard and a clear sheet protector. Inside the plastic are 2 color printouts. Ben's kindergarten photo, Ava in pigtails, with "Do not admit" in black marker above their faces. Maya's hand finds my arm and tightens. My stomach drops like I missed a step. The man smiles in a professional way. "Afternoon. Are you Jared?" "Yes." He glances at the plastic. "And these are Ben and Ava." I hear my own voice from far away. "Those are my kids, right?" he says. The bride requested a no children policy. I am instructed to have any minors escorted to the on-site sitter. If you refuse, I am supposed to deny entry. "There is no sitter," I say, because we were not told about a sitter. He shifts his weight. He does not look mean. He looks like someone whose job got weirder than he signed up for. "Sir, I do not make the rules." A soft click of heels. Kira appears, smile lacquered. Chloe peeks from behind the barn door, like a nervous deer in designer shoes, then retreats. "Oh, this," Kira says, like we are discussing a smudge on a window. "We tried to call." "My phone is on," I say. "It is. No missed calls. It is for the aesthetic," she says. "Adult-only events photograph better. There are candles and glassware." Maya's voice is level. "You printed our children's faces to show a guard." "It is not personal," Kira says. "It is logistics." Ben looks up. He is brave but small. "Did we do something bad?" "No, buddy," I say. "You did nothing wrong." A guest passes, eyes sliding over us like we are a hazard on the highway. The planner glides over. "We have a lot of fragile rentals," she chirps. "Insurance is very specific." She floats off. "Let us not make a scene," Kira says in her church voice. It is Chloe's day. I stare at the sheet protector. My son's gap-toothed grin under "Do not admit," my daughter's pigtails. The feeling that comes is not fire. It is a clear, clean cold. A click inside my chest like something finally lining up. I hand the envelope with our card to Kira. "Congratulations," I say. "Jared," she says, warning disguised as sweetness. "We are leaving," I say. "Enjoy the wedding." Maya takes Ava's hand. I take Ben's. We turn. The security guy says nothing. The gravel crunches. The sky decides to be cloudy. In the car, I buckle kids with hands that feel oddly steady. We drive 10 minutes in silence. Ben whispers to Ava about French fries. Ava asks if we can listen to the frog song. Maya presses her lips together so hard the color leaves. My phone rings. Unknown number. I let it go. It rings again. I answer. "Jared," a voice says. "This is Martin. I am Parker's father." I say nothing. "I just saw the list," he says, "the guard, the photos." His tone is calm in the way rich men get when they are about to end something. "The wedding is off." "What?" I say. "They are on their way to your house to beg," he says. "Cold. Do not answer the door." He hangs up. I look at Maya. She looks at me. We do not say anything. 2 hours later, there is a knock at our door. 3 sharp raps. I hear his rhythm. Then Chloe's voice, muffled and high. "Jared, we need to talk." I stand on the other side of the wood and think about the version of me who always opens, who always smooths, who always turns himself into a bridge. I put my hand on the deadbolt. Then I take it off. We do not open the door. The knocking turns to buzzing phones. "Kira, open up. We can fix this. Dad, let us be reasonable. Chloe, you ruined my life." "Parker, please call me." I set the phone face down on the counter. I make grilled cheese. Ben dips his in ketchup. Ava calls the cheese yellow ring. Real life moves forward even when the script breaks. At 6:12 post-meridian, Kira leaves a voicemail. It is long, the kind of long where you forget to breathe. You embarrassed us. The list was not personal. The venue needed it. You owe us a conversation. You owe us. There is the ledger. It never fails to appear. At 7:03 post-meridian, Martin calls back. I answer on the second ring. I have pulled our contribution, he says. Bar minimum, shuttle, tent gone. I will not fund cruelty. I did not ask you to do that, I say. You did not need to, he says. They carbon copied me on vendor invoices. I saw your transfers. How much? 21,000 and change, I say. My voice surprises me by being calm. I tracked it. Send totals, he says. I will claw back what I can and wire you anything refundable. The rest Parker will pay, or he will learn what boundaries cost. This is not revenge, I say. No, he says. This is called consequences. I will be in touch. When I hang up, the house is quiet in a way that is not empty. It feels like the first breath after a long hold. I sit and write an email because texts turn slippery in this family. I put numbers like anchors, subject, wedding expenses, and next steps. I covered venue deposit, $12,800. Catering installment, $8,750. Florist retainer, $2,200. Strings, $1,600. DJ, $1,500. Content team, $2,500. Total, $29,350. Vendor credits pending from Martin's cancellations, estimated $6,000. Net approximate $23,350. You denied entry to the event you asked me to finance by posting my children's faces under Do Not Admit. I expect repayment in full. I will accept a 12-month plan. First payment due next month, on the 1st via automatic transfer. This is not about revenge. This is about closure and boundaries. Jared. I send it to Kira, Dad, Chloe, and Parker. I carbon copy Martin. Responses arrive fast. Kira, how dare you threaten your family? Dad, we can talk privately, son. Chloe, 12 months. Laughing out loud, we are not a bank. Parker, let me figure things out. Maya reads over my shoulder and nods. Clear, she says. Good. At 9:40 post-meridian, the door knocks again. I look through the peephole. It is Dad. He stands like he always stands, one hand in his pocket, one hand rubbing his temple like life is a puzzle he solves by massaging it. I open because he is my father, and because I want to say this with my mouth and not a keyboard. Son, he says, stepping inside. This got out of hand. They printed my kids, I say. They were not a policy. They were a blacklist. It was the venue, he says. You think the venue had school photos of Ben? I ask. You think the barn Googled Ava? He exhales. You could have stayed for your sister. You mean swallowed? I say. You mean performed quiet? He looks at the floor. We keep peace in this family. Peace without respect is just silence, I say. I am done performing silence. He stares at me long enough to turn into a lecture. Then it does not. He shakes his head. I do not recognize you. I know, I say. I finally recognize myself. He leaves without slamming the door. Progress, I guess. The next morning, Kira posts a Facebook paragraph about protecting your joy from jealous people. My cousin screenshots it. I do not read the comments. People clap for noise when it is dressed pretty. At noon, Martin emails a PDF titled Refund Summary. He got $6,200 back. He wires it the same day. He writes, applied to your totals, Parker to cover the remainder. If he balks, I will. I will not be associated with people who blacklist toddlers. It is blunt. I respect blunt. Chloe tries a new tone that night. Let us talk like adults. No ultimatums. 10 minutes later, wow, ignoring me. Power trip much? Then a photo of her puffy face with the caption, this is what you did. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and read Ben a dinosaur book. 2 days later, Parker shows up at my studio unannounced. He stands in the lobby shifting like a man in new shoes. My manager texts me, guy in pastel polo asks for you by first name. Safe? I go out. We sit on a bench. He stares at the floor, at the ceiling, at his hands. Your email was intense, he says. You hired a guard to keep my children out. I did not hire, I say. He stops. I did not stop it. Better. He scratches his jaw. 12 months is aggressive. It is generous, I say. 6 months is aggressive. He looks like a person calculating image versus cost. Fine, he says. 12 automatic transfers. First of the month, I say. He nods. He stands. Tell Maya I am sorry. Tell Chloe. I say, Tell your future self. The first payment arrives on the 1st, $1,945.83, with the memo for peace, which makes me laugh out loud. The second month, they are 3 days late. I send a reminder. Chloe replies with 3 crying emojis and $1,500. I send back, balance, $445.83. She sends it, no note. Family chat goes quiet. Dad sends me a meme about yoga goats like we did not bleed on the porch. Kira posts quotes about choosing light, I choose groceries. Ben loses his first tooth. Ava learns to say strawberry correctly and then decides she prefers red moon. Anyway, I teach 3 sunrise classes in a row, and my voice gets that gravelly edge people call soothing. I sleep better. 2 months in, there is a knock. Soft. I open. Chloe stands on the step in sunglasses, hair in a bun, the costume of contrition. She takes the sunglasses off. Her eyes are red. Can we talk? She says. I step outside and close the door behind me. You made a scene, she says. You made a list, I say. It was not personal, she says. It was a photo of Ben, I say. You wrote do not admit over his teeth. She flinches. I did not write it. The planner. You let it exist, I say. She exhales. Mom says you have always hated me. I have always paid for you, I say. There is a difference. She looks at her shoes. So what now? We say hello at birthdays, I say. We do not exchange money. We do not put each other's kids on lists. We do not confuse guilt with love. She tilts her head. You sound like Instagram therapy. I sound like a dad, I say. She nods once, like a judge granting bail. Fine, she says. Parker and I got married at the courthouse yesterday. You were not invited. Good, I say. She blinks, confused, like I did not play my line. We will keep paying, she says. Good, I say again. It is a complete sentence. They pay for 7 months, then the 8th is short. Need to pause, Parker texts. We moved money for something time-sensitive. I respond, new plan. $1,000 for 3 months, then resume full amount. He agrees. I write it down. I do not ask what was time-sensitive. I am not their bank. I am not their dad. Dad texts me, barbecue Sunday, bring kids. I stare at the message. Maya reads my face. Go if you want to, she says. Do not if you do not. We go. The grill smells like my childhood. Dad flips burgers. He looks smaller. He does not say sorry. He asks Ben about school. He asks Ava about her favorite color. He looks at me and says, you are different. And I say, I am better. And he nods, like that is a door he is willing to walk through slowly. On the drive home, the car is quiet in the good way. Maya takes my hand across the center console. You did it, she says. I did not fix them, I say. You fixed you, she says. That is the only job. The 9th payment arrives, then the 10th, then the final email from Martin. Applied last vendor credit of $200 from content team. Ridiculous. Your balance is 0. He writes, you did right by your family. That matters. I believe him. There is one last message from Kira, a single line. We are disappointed in who you have become. I type delete. I finally send I am not. No more paragraphs. No more car rides for errands that are not mine. No more you always step up. I retire from that job. I hire myself for another. Husband, dad, person with a spine. The door stays closed more often now. When it opens, it is because we want it to. When it closes, that is not spite, that is care. I teach class and tell my students, lengthen on the inhale, root on the exhale. I mean it in my body. I mean it in my life. The final transfer hits, $1,945.83. Memo, final. I open my note labeled Chloe Wedding Track and write the last line, balance, $0. I do not delete it. Some records deserve to stay. Then I send a short email. Received final payment. Balance, $0. Boundaries. No money exchanged. No family leverage. Kids stay out of conflict. If you cannot meet that, I will not be there. This is not about revenge. This is about closure. Jared. I do not wait for replies. Ava climbs into my lap. Ben asks how to spell pteranodon. Maya kisses my head. The house smells like toast. Towels fall. Shoes never match. Our chaos, ours alone. People will say I was dramatic, but people who profit from your silence will always call your boundary rude. I did not slam doors or post rants. I just decided not to stand where I was told anymore. Being the good son used to mean showing up no matter what. Now it means stepping away when staying cost your self-respect. Yes, I paid for a wedding I did not attend. I left when my kids were treated like a policy. I sent numbers instead of screams. I said one line that mattered. This is not about revenge. This is about closure. I am not the hero in Chloe's story. I do not need to be. I am the dad who took his kids for fries instead of letting them be risks on a clipboard. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors that only open from the inside. This is how I ended. This is how I start again. Looking back, I still feel that moment at the barn entrance like a physical thing, a cold, sharp line drawn across my chest. When I saw Ben's kindergarten smile and Ava's pigtails under those cruel words "do not admit," something inside me simply stopped negotiating. It wasn't rage at first, it was a sudden, almost peaceful clarity, the way the body knows exactly when to step out of a pose that's gone too deep and started to hurt. For years, I had confused being needed with being loved. Every time I stepped up, I told myself I was keeping the family together, preserving peace, proving I was the reliable one. But peace built on one person quietly absorbing everyone else's weight isn't peace. It's slow erosion. I didn't realize how much of myself I'd shaved off until I saw my children reduced to a security risk on a glossy printout. In that instant, the cost became unbearably clear. If I stayed silent one more time, I would teach Ben and Ava that love means letting people treat you as disposable. Walking away wasn't dramatic in the way people imagine. No shouting, no slammed car door, no public scene. It was quieter and far more final, a simple turn on the gravel, the crunch of 4 sets of feet moving in the same direction for the first time in years. I felt the old role fall off my shoulders like a heavy coat I'd worn so long I forgot it wasn't my skin. What replaced it was lighter, but it also left me exposed. Raw, uncertain, a little terrified that choosing myself might mean losing the only version of family I'd ever known. The months of repayment were strange. Every automatic transfer that landed in our account felt both vindicating and sad. Vindicating because it proved boundaries can have teeth. Sad because it confirmed that respect, in their eyes, only arrived attached to consequences. Watching the balance tick down to 0 gave me no triumph, just a deep exhale. The money was never the point. It was the acknowledgement that my limits mattered. I'm still processing the grief, if I'm honest. Grief for the brother I thought I was supposed to be, for the father I kept hoping would one day see me without comparing, for the illusion that if I just gave enough, I'd finally be indispensable in a way that felt safe. But underneath that grief is something new and steady, pride. Not the loud kind, but the quiet certainty that comes from knowing I protected my children's dignity when no one else in that family would. I showed them what it looks like when a parent says, "You are not negotiable." These days, when I cue my students to root down through the feet, lengthen through the crown, I feel it in my bones. I'm no longer performing calm for other people's comfort. I'm living it, imperfectly, in a house where towels fall off hooks and the shoe basket is always half empty, but where no one has to shrink to keep the peace. I finally understand that being grounding doesn't mean absorbing every earthquake around you. Sometimes it means standing still long enough for the ground to recognize it belongs to you too. I don't hate Chloe or Kira or even my dad. I just don't owe them the parts of me they never valued. And that, more than any refunded dollar, feels like the real repayment. For all the years I lent myself out without interest,